Hello and welcome to Destination Timeshare. I'm Jeremy. Today we're going to be talking about something new. Maybe this new hat, or maybe my new t-shirt, or even maybe the new camera that I'm using to actually film this video. You'll have to tell me down in the comments below what you think of the new camera. Obviously the same setup here behind me, but it's not really any of those things. We're going to talk about it right after this. Today, we're going to be talking about something great, something grand, something that Marriott Vacation Club announced just recently on their third quarter 2023 earnings call. I actually talked about something similar to this in a previous video. I'll put a link to it right up here, so go over there, check that out, maybe after you've finished watching this video. But that in fact is a new property maybe coming in the future. Probably the distant future. Let's hear what President and CEO of Marriott Vacations Worldwide, Mr. John Geller, had to say on their third quarter earnings call. So he said, on the development front, we acquired a property in Savannah, Georgia, which we intend to convert into a 73-unit Westin Vacation Club. Savannah consistently ranks as a top tourism destination by our owners. This resort will also add new sales centers in the market when it opens in a few years. Great news! We're going to have a new Westin Vacation Club property in Savannah, Georgia. Of course, that's if it actually comes to fruition. This is actually a Class A 5-story office building at 200 East St. Julian Street. Sold actually, in fact, on August the 4th, 2023 to Marriott Ownership Resorts LLC for $18.7 million. So, like I said, it's actually an office building right now. In fact, it was actually built in 1959 and is currently the headquarters of Hunter McLean, one of the oldest law firms in Georgia. They're currently occupying that building, and in fact, they indicated in one of the articles that that law firm intends to stay there for another 18 to 24 months. So, like I mentioned, we probably won't see any development or specific occupancy in this property for quite a few years. Could be 2, could be 3, 4, 5. I would think they're not going to really be able to do any renovations until that law firm is out of there. Probably up until that point, they might be working on maybe regulations, permitting, zoning, that kind of thing. But we'll look forward to this resort quite a ways down the road. Now, like I said, this sale actually happened August the 4th. And there were actually quite a few news articles out there when I did a search on this after learning about it from the earnings call that announced this, talked about it, but a lot of those news articles actually kind of incorrectly assumed that this was going to be a Marriott hotel property, whether it be a Marriott, Courtyard, Fairfield Inn, who knows, but they kind of incorrectly assumed that, even though those articles indicated it was actually purchased by Marriott Ownership Resorts LLC, which is specifically the timeshare company. Now, one important thing here with that zoning and maybe those regulations, permitting, that kind of thing, this building apparently is not a contributing resource or historic site in Savannah. So they should have a fair bit of leeway there. In fact, right across the street, I guess there's another hotel, maybe part of the Hilton brand, that was kind of converted several years ago. So that definitely is a good thing. Hopefully in the near future, we're going to have a great new Westin Vacation Club property. And that kind of brings up a big question for owners out there of VISTANA Signature Experiences, which we are in fact one of those owners. We actually own 2 weeks in the VISTANA Signature Network. And as you might know, if you own with VISTANA, well, you may get star options for your vacation ownership interest, whether it be a week, whether it be Sheraton Flex, Westin Flex, Westin Aventuras, whatever it might be. Well, those star options can actually be used to book other VISTANA resorts. And one would naturally think that, hey, this is going to be a Westin Vacation Club property. Well, it will be available to book with star options. But, the big but, we don't really know if that will be the case for new and future Westin or Sheraton Vacation Club properties. Because really, there's nothing mandating or requiring Marriott Vacations or VISTANA to actually make this VSN eligible. I fully expect this property will be placed, 100% of it, into the Abound Trust. That trust is essentially what owns quite a bit of inventory at pretty much all of the Marriott Vacation Club properties. There are a few exceptions, and a lot of the VISTANA properties as well. So if they place it all in there, they could still make it eligible for VISTANA Signature Network owners to be able to book there at the 8-month mark. Or they could just say, hey, we're not going to put this into the VISTANA Signature Network, and essentially kind of use it as bait or a selling tool for the old thing that they call fear of missing out. The salespeople will probably try and say, hey, you know, the only way that you can go and book at this property is to use club points. Those being the new Abound club points that you can now elect for your vacation ownership interest, or they'll try and sell you some trust points. And they'll probably even say, hey, this property is 100% in the trust. So really, the only way you're going to be able to book it is by buying trust points. Probably won't be true, because you'll probably be able to use your vacation ownership interest, convert it to club points, and then book it that way. But trust me, they will 100% use this as a selling tool to try and get you to buy trust points. I would certainly definitely like if this was actually in the VISTANA Signature Network, because then it would also be available at the 8-month mark. Anything essentially that is not already reserved to be able to be reserved with star options. I don't know. I think more likely that they won't do that, but I have faith, Marriott Vacations Worldwide and VISTANA, that they will still put it in VSN, but I'm not going to put any money on that. Ultimately, because it really comes down to trying to sell more points. And if they can use this as the carrot on the stick, they'll definitely do that. So hopefully a new property coming here in the future to Savannah, because, you know, they sometimes buy property and then turn around and sell it, and they never really end up building anything after all. But sounds like they're planning on expanding, because like I mentioned in that previous video, we have hopefully Charleston coming along as well. So you can maybe even spend a few nights in Charleston and a few nights in Savannah, two beautiful cities on the East Coast here in the United States. So if you do want a little bit more information about the sale and acquisition of this property by Marriott Vacations Worldwide, I will put a link or a couple of links down in the description box below. So head over there and check those out. Just some kind of short news articles about the sale and about the purchase. Otherwise, I hope you really like this video. If you really like a new property in Savannah, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Really does help out these videos. And if you want to see another video about VISTANA Signature Network, and more specifically about Abound, well, I'll put a link to it right up here. So head over there and check that out. Thanks for watching. And remember, until next time, the best destination is always a timeshare.